What's up, guys? I'm the Golden Child. Welcome to what I'm reading. Pretty much right now, I'm just going to be telling you guys about the books that I'm reading, how they make me feel, and my experiences with them. I'm not going to be sharing any information about what's inside the book. If you want that information or if you want to read along with me, click the link in the description, join my book club. And with that being said, let's get into it. The name of this book is The Laws of Human Nature by Robert Greene. Robert Greene is a #1 New York Times bestselling author. He's also the author of The 48 Laws of Power and The Art of Seduction, Mastery, and The 33 Laws of War, something like that. But Robert Greene he's a really excellent author. I like his work a lot. Right here on the back of the book, it tells you some of the advantages to learning the laws of human nature. First, the laws will transform you into a calmer, more strategic observer of people. Two, the laws will make you a master interpreter of the cues people will continually emit. Pretty much, in order to understand human nature, in order to see what people are thinking and, understand how they feel, and you got to watch them. You got to you got to immerse yourself completely in them. The laws will empower you to outthink toxic types of people who will inevitably cross your path. People for example, it's human nature to be envious. This book gives suggestions on dealing with envious people and how to make it so people don't be envious of you. But if they do, because it's a possibility, if they do become envious of you, it gives you defenses. It arms you with defenses and course of actions you can take to protect yourself. The laws will teach you the true levers for motivating and influencing people. Again, once you know human nature, once you know once you know what people are bound to do, now you have, what I'm saying, you can influence them and motivate them in certain ways because you already know the behaviors that they're susceptible to. The laws will give you the power to alter your own negative patterns. Again, there's things we all have things that we probably don't like, actions, addictions, and stuff like that. Knowing the laws of human nature, it helps you overcome negative patterns. And that's all it is. Human beings are creatures of habit. You know what I'm saying? We follow patterns. So I heard someone say, there's no change without a change in action. So basically, if you want to change your circumstances, the first thing you got to change is your routine. You got to change your routine first. Hit the gym. Hit the function. You know what I'm saying? Get the selling. First change you got to make is within yourself. It's a big book. No lie. It took me a very long time to finish this book, but just like with everything, if you stick with it, take a chapter a day, you'll finish it eventually. What's the rush? You learning as you go. You learn each chapter you read. And then eventually you got all the knowledge. You know all about human nature. You're familiar with it. Same way, just like all of other Robert Greene's other books, he tells a story, and then he'll tell like how the law relates to that story, and then he'll tell you like just more about the law. The first law they talk about is the law of irrationality. Pretty much by nature, human beings are emotional creatures. We let our emotions rule us. That's most people, and that's natural. It's the law of irrationality. He says to overcome this, one, be aware of your irrationality, and two, work to master your emotional self. Mind over emotion. People be people let their emotions control them. Not a good thing. Sometimes, actually, usually mind over emotion, and that's called when you put your mind over emotion. That's called being rational. He says people are rational, like while they are usually when they have like a lot of work to take care of, people are rational. Another law that's interesting is the law of role playing. Pretty much whenever people want something, whether it's you, me, them, people act the part. When they want something, people wear masks. So you gotta learn how to see through people's masks. If you wanna be able to see through people's masks, all you have to do is pay attention to their facial expressions. They can disguise what they say, but they can't. It's hard for them to mask their facial expressions. Most people can't do it. When you get to that level, you working with somebody who, you know what I'm saying, they smarter. They know a little more. But for the most part, the average person only changes like their voice or whatever. They don't change their facial expressions. So watch their facial expressions. Watch their behavior. You also have the law of short-sightedness. Most people are short-sighted. They only see like, they're not thinking about the far future. They're not, and because of this, because you're not thinking about the far future, you don't have no, like, you don't, it messes up your goals. Like, you're not setting goals. Basically, elevate your perspective. Think about the big picture. Think about your big picture. What type of picture are you painting? A lot of people living in the moment today, but tomorrow's coming. Multiple tomorrows are coming. You got to know where you're trying to go. I could go through all these laws. All these laws are beneficial to know, but I'm just dancing around. And there are 18 chapters in general. This book is about 580 pages long, about 600 pages. But again, like, take it little by little. If you a dog, you could read this bad boy in a week, 100 pages a day. If you a beast, if you a dog with the knowledge, you can get through this bad boy in a week. My favorite chapters, the last three are the best chapters in my opinion. The last three. It talks about the law of aggression, which is basically beware of the friendly facade. Pretty much people act like they're your friend, but really by nature people are aggressive. People are trying to get it. They're trying to get it any way they can. If you're trying to get it, that's aggressive. Some people hide their aggressiveness, but by nature, when we kids, we very aggressive. We go after what we want immediately. Society teaches us to not be so aggressive and to be a little more calmer, but it's actually better to be, you know what I'm saying, connect with your nature and use that energy for good. Like that's the energy that helps you make stuff happen. That aggressive energy. Everybody has it, male, female, doesn't matter. You don't want to be so aggressive that you're a bad person, because you can be like so aggressive that you'll sacrifice, you know what I'm saying, your mom, your friends. You don't have to go that far, but you should definitely use your aggressive energy to get whatever it is you want, whether it's money, whether it's relationships, whatever. Go after it. Use that energy. The law of generational myopia. Pretty much people are not aware of the fact that each generation has a spirit to it. On Earth, usually 4 generations inhabit Earth at once. It's like the kids, the young adults, the grown adults, and the elderly people. Each generation has a spirit to it. It goes into way more detail, but I'm just giving you the basic stuff. Pretty much each generation has a spirit to it. One, you want to get to know the spirit of your generation. This is going to help you become a trendsetter and, you know what I'm saying, create things that it might need, you know what I'm saying, to be better, businesses, stuff like that. And also be aware of the zeitgeist. The zeitgeist is the spirit of the times, pretty much the intermingling between these 4 generations that inhabit Earth. They form the spirit of the times. Come to understand the zeitgeist. This is going to help you become a trendsetter on a worldwide level. And like, just understand like where we at in the world, where we at today, what we need. You have to come to get to know your generation. We shaped by our generation. Our generation shapes a lot of our tastes, interests, a lot of things. So you really do need to be aware of the spirit of your generation and come to know the spirit of your generation. If you want to read this book along with me, click the link in the description, join my book club. And lastly, I'm just going to tell y'all about the last chapter. It's called The law of death denial. Pretty much people are not aware of the fact that we all gonna die someday. We desensitized to it in movies. Death is used as entertainment in video games. We kill each other, you know what I'm saying? Like it's not a big deal. Like you're gonna respawn. But the reality is after you die, it's done. Your time on earth is finite. Which is why you gotta use every second you got, every second you can to manifest whatever it is you're trying to manifest to make it happen. The problem is the higher ups know this. A lot of wicked people in these secret societies and you know what I'm saying on the higher level, they know this stuff. So that's why the world is so wicked today because more wicked people know this information than righteous people. But once we start, you know what I'm saying, once the have-nots start arming themselves with knowledge and start applying this information, we're gonna see vast changes in the world and a lot of positive changes. More positive people gotta get this information. Like I said, if you want to read this with me, click the link in the description. Read on with me. Overall, I really enjoyed this book. This is literally one of my favorite books. I want to give this book to my brothers, and I want to reread it. I want to talk to people about it. If you want to read along with me, click the link in the description. Join my book club. Also, if you support what I'm doing, want to help me spread positivity in the streets, bring people together, and encourage people to read more, get yourself a bookmark. Each bookmark is completely unique, has my contact information on it, and they're only $4. Click the link in the description. Hope to see all of you guys there. As always, I love y'all. Have a good one. Peace.
Feeling good, feeling better. Ever since I was a youngin', I've been hungry, always thinking about that cheddar. You could never tell me that another nigga better. Playing poker with the sharks, never folding under pressure.